All right, friends, it's T-Man. I'm back with a brand new video, broski. It's Blaha Man, and he is watching my videos because he's gonna admit it's the tension and not lifting heavy. I know he is. I haven't even watched this video yet, but I know he is, bro, because he said progressive overload. I know. Anyways, I'm gonna do a reaction to the gym lifting recruiting fitness slave himself, JasonBlaha, broski. So Blaha says, progressive overload is a requirement for muscle gain. Yes, bomba clot, it is.
Progressive overload is absolutely required for muscle growth in the long term. Hey everybody, it's JasonBlaha here, and I thought I would chat with you guys and gals a little bit about this today. Now, keep in mind, when we talk about progressive overload, we are talking about it in terms of increasing tension on the muscle. We are not saying moving heavier weight by any means necessary. So I want to be clear on that. Progressive.
Oh my God, bro, he admitted it. He's watching my videos. Of course he is.
Overload is absolutely the primary driver of hypertrophy because...
Yeah, but he always talked about progressive overload as being going heavy, lifting heavy weight in the opposite direction of fucking gravity, bro.
Again, it is about placing more and more tension on a muscle. And here's the difference. A lot of times...
Yeah, more tension on the muscle, but which direction, Blaha? Because he said not heavier weight. That to me, when he said not heavier weight, that meant concentrically. So more tension means on the downforce, eccentrically. So why doesn't he just say it?
People will say things like, well, if you can make a weight feel as heavy as possible, well...
No, you can't make a weight feel as heavy as possible. That's stupid. Either the weight's heavy or it's not. That's why I told you, all these people in the gym, what they're doing is fake training, bro. It's all fluff and pump sarcoplasmic training. It's garbage. But they don't realize it. And they think, oh, it's not working. I'm not building a muscle. Okay. Then they're like, I got to do bulk diets and this and that and powders and blah, blah, blah. Put water in my muscles.
No, that's not always true. In some cases it is. So we need to be clear because there's a lot of different methods involved with that.
No, there's no methods. There's only one method. If you wanna get the nervous system strong, listen to this word. If you crazy people wanna get the nervous system strong, see, listen to the word, nervous system strong, then you wanna lift concentrically in the opposite direction, and you'll build some phony muscles called sarcoplasmic muscles. That's if you're eating carbohydrates. And if you're not eating enough of that, then you won't build anything. You'll just be a pretend strong guy. Little skinny, little strong guy, dude. With only a strong nervous system, but your body's weak because it never grew bigger and stronger. Anyway, so what builds bodies big and strong? Eccentric exercise. And it's also associated with making you stronger. Two types of strength. Making your muscles bigger and stronger and making you stronger at lifting as well. Ta-da, ta-da. Isn't that amazing, dude? Eccentric, man, exercise is known to cause widespread muscle damage.
There are some things that will actually increase tension without increasing the weight, right? Where you can make up...
Oh, really? And what's that? And what would be that? Please tell me.
Lighter weight, put more tension on the muscle fibers, okay?
Nah, lightweight doesn't put tension on muscle fibers. Eccentric overload resistance training puts tension on the muscle to cause it to damage. And then when the weak ones become damaged with that load, then you need to progressively overload again so you can get the deeper, weaker muscle fibers and get them to damage and grow them bigger and stronger. That's how it works, dude.
But making it feel as hard as possible doesn't always do that. But we'll jump to that in a minute. So when we talk...
Yeah, that's when people start to say, well, you have to go down really slow. You have to do slow eccentrics with a very light weight. to pretend to make it heavy. That is so dumb, man.
About progressive overload, the obvious, most easy way is to simply add weight.
Slow is not going to cause the muscle to tear apart, to cause it to micro tear.
Or add reps. In other words, if you are not seeing some sort of general upward trend in performance, you need to start looking at other stuff real quick, because usually that is characteristic of gaining muscle mass. In other words, I'm not necessarily talking about these one reps, like these singles like this. Right? If you get stronger at single.
But Blaha doesn't do any of those, and now he's watching my videos because none of his exercises are geared towards eccentric resistance overload training, bro. Get it? Everything he's doing is heavy, going the opposite direction. So all of a sudden he's what? He's telling you have to, it's about putting tension where on the eccentric. You need to lift heavy. Well, why isn't he doing that then? What has he been doing the whole time? Wasting his time. One more time. Because see, he's been watching my videos because recently I came out talking about eccentric overload. Now, I've always been talking about eccentric exercises and stuff. I've always associated, it's associated with damage. But, I didn't exactly say that, hey, there was a short route to getting massively big and massively strong. Two types of strong. Lifting strength and muscular strength, which you're not getting in concentric. So you're getting 2 in 1 when you're doing eccentric overload training. It gets you there a lot faster. Wherever it is you want to go, gives you steroidal-like gains in strength and in muscle growth. Eccentric exercise overload. Yeah.
It's most likely, or doubles, it's usually indicative that you've gained muscle, right? Or neural drive. It's not itself always a driver.
No, you get neural drive in eccentric and you get muscle growth, but you don't get muscle growth in concentric. You get neural drive, some neural drive, but you don't get the damaged muscles. They don't damage concentrically, they damage eccentrically.
Because we don't get a whole lot of growth stimulus from singles. Now, are we saying it's zero? No. Are we saying it doesn't contribute?
No, you don't get a whole lot of damage from singles. But it's been recorded that a single bout of eccentric overload, like if you were to do something astronomically heavy in an overload, a single bout is enough to cause the satellite cell to activate. Why? Because that's a lot of tension on the muscle. That downforce is really heavy going down on that muscle. It's going to cause it to stretch and cause some micro injuries, even from a single bout. But you do need more bouts. You need quite a few bouts to really cause some good damage there. You understand me? That's the difference.
No, it absolutely contributes, especially if you do it before your rep work. That's its own separate topic, though. So what we are saying is, though, that could be evidence, of course, of hypertrophy, just like the ability to do more reps and stuff is evidence of hypertrophy. But whether we're talking about a chicken or an egg scenario...
I don't think so, but okay.
If we
what?
Are growing, we will see a general upward trend. We have to.
Yeah, if you're growing, you'll see a general upward trend. The problem with bodybuilding, real bodybuilding, is number one, it's uncomfortable, can be painful for some, and the problem is it compromises sportive performance. Thus, it takes more time. The recovery time takes a lot longer in eccentric exercise. Everybody knows this. They talk about this, bro. This is not new, man. It's everywhere in science. It's going to take a minimum of 7 days. If you're a trained athlete already and you know what you're doing, the shortest period of time is 7 days. That's why they say in science it will rapidly, in a trained person, it will rapidly repair and remodel a lot faster. That's why people read these things in science and say, well, it says here 1 month, 30 days, or 14 days, and all that kind of stuff. Look, bro, I don't know about untrained subjects, okay? It takes longer for them. But a person that's trained and already doing eccentric overload exercise, they're going to heal. They're going to repair and remodel muscle a lot faster within 7 days. But hold on, it really depends. If you take on a lot of damage, like if you accumulate a lot of damage on that day, then sometimes you have to weigh it out. You're not sure. Because if you still feel kind of weakish on the 7th day, I would recommend taking another 3 days. I would make it 10 days and then come back to the gym. You want to know why? Because you may not be completely repaired and remodeled and hypertrophied. Get it? By the 7th day. Because it's kind of like you have to measure things out. You know what I mean? I've had days where I went all out. If I went all out, man, I'm still kind of weakishy and I'm kind of hurting on the 7th day. I'm not really comfortable going back to the gym. And if I'm not comfortable, I won't do it, because the first thing that's going to happen to me, the first exercise I'll do for my full upper body is my chest. And I'll notice I feel weak moving. I feel blunted. I feel a blunted feeling and I feel kind of weak. That means no. My body's telling me no, man. It's not good.
Whether the additional tension is the driver or it's the side effect, if it's not there, it's not a good sign. Now, that being said, you also have to meter that and measure that and weigh that out, in the sense of, if you're talking about a strict curl, it could take you years to put a small amount on there, okay? And I think that's the difference. Big exercises, it's easier to measure this, because if you're moving, 200, 300 pounds, you see where we're going? It's not as big of a deal to add 1 kilogram or 2 pounds or whatever, 2.5 pounds. It's not as big of a deal. But when it's an exercise you can only do 30 pounds on for 10, and that's your all-out max, going to 35 for 10 could literally be 2 years worth of hypertrophy. You see what we're saying? And it would be significant, right? If it's a muscle like that, say a bicep or a tricep or something, and your full range of motion.
Yeah, you can gain 2 years of what you could have gained in a day. But all you are wasting your time. That's your problem.
Strict movement goes from 30 pounds per 10 to 12 to 35. That's going to be a substantial increase in muscle mass, because that's big. It's a huge percentage of the weight. But the idea here is the same. We should see an upward trend. Okay? We should see an upward trend. And if it's not there, there is a problem.
What's the trend, Blaha? I can tell you, within the amount of muscle that you would ever get accidentally in the last 10, 20 years of lifting, you probably could have accumulated it within 2 weeks, of just lifting. That's how funny that is. Of eccentric exercise. What a waste. People have wasted their time. So 20 years of lifting, you could have done it in 2 weeks. Yeah, 1 week come in, full upper body, lower body. Then you repair and remodel, come in the second week, upper, lower, repair and remodel. That's the muscle you would have gained in those 20 years. Because you would have accidentally gotten maybe some damage, I don't know. Maybe, if you're lucky.
Again, though, it needs to scale.
But if you're asking me, 99.9% of the people in gyms are not building muscles, because eccentric, for some reason, they just don't grasp the concept, and they run away from DOMs, and they don't like to be damaged, and they don't like that stuff. They don't understand this why am I damaged, why am I getting DOMs and all that kind of stuff, because that's real bodybuilding. Because they've listened to fake bodybuilders complaining about DOMs, like steroid people. They don't like that, because they like pumping their muscles up. They like to pump and all that. What the fuck, you go into a gym to fucking pump your muscles up? You must be fucking retarded. Who the hell goes there and says, I want to go there because I want to pump my muscles? You have to be fucking insane, man. I don't know what people are thinking. They're really gone. Their brain is fucked up, man. They're doing shit like they don't even understand bodybuilding at all whatsoever. Bodybuilding's not about going into a gym and pumping your fucking muscles up, duh. Anyway, whatever, man. So yeah, they're uncomfortable with these things, eccentric exercise. They don't like it. They run away from it, and therefore they can't be successful at it. It's impossible.
With the size of the lift, again, I'll get clients who do that. Man, my bicep work isn't budging. Like, okay, but did you gain a rep on your rows or 2 reps on your rows over a couple of months? Well, yeah.
Yeah, but not eccentrically, you dumbass. Eccentrically, it's got to be eccentrically. You got to gain more of it on there.
Okay, well, that's fine. Because then the curls are done after, and you're only using.
No. Listen, man. Let's say, for example, this weight that Blaha's lifting, right? He's lifting this weight up, whatever. Okay. If you're able to lift this weight up for a full concentric exercise, then it's too light. It's too light for, I'm talking about for reps. It's too light. If you could do this for a full concentric, it's too light. So what do you have to do? You can only lift it partially. You can only lift it up partial way. You can't lift it up all the way. And so you have to do as many reps as possible partially up, and then let the weight go down, let it overload you. That's the whole point. Just enough that you can pull it, but enough so that it can lower by itself. You understand me? The weight. This will cause damage in the muscle fiber. Now, most of the pulling motions are the easiest. The hardest ones are going to be where you need help, which is probably going to be like, well, deadlift. I mean, not necessarily. You really could do deadlifts just the way everybody else does them. The only difference is that you have to lower the deadlift. Not like these people, they drop it on the floor. You have to pick it up and you have to lower it. You have to pick it up and lower it. All right. That's the difference. That's real bodybuilding, unlike these power lifters. The bench press. Okay, bench press. You have somebody help you with the eccentrics. If you can't manage, let's say you go really heavy, but you can only manage to eke out maybe 1 rep, 2, maybe even 3 reps, but you want to do 10 reps. Well, then let's say the last 6, I don't know, the last 7 reps, what you do is you have a friend or 2 friends lift and then you lower. They lift and then you lower it for 10 or 12 repetitions, okay? So even if you could only do 3, which is kind of good, which is a good start. But then there's people that just go all out overload. They'll go really heavy and then have it drop, okay? But with control, they'll have it with control. You could do those, but honestly don't recommend that. See what I mean? Because we want to keep progressing. That's the difference. We want to keep progressing. We don't want to just go directly to the heaviest weight and let it drop on us. We can't do enough sets or reps. That's the problem. We need more sets, more reps to cause damage to the muscle fibers so that they can come back bigger and stronger. I'm not saying they may not get a little bit of damage, it dropping once or twice if you're doing it once or twice, but that's not enough, dude. See, that's the problem. Anyways, you want to grow with the weight. Let's see. A squat. The same thing with squat. You want to do the same thing. You need somebody to help you. You can do a few, but then after you can't do them, they're too heavy. Have somebody help you with the eccentric part. Try to rep them out for 10 reps, at least a minimum, with something heavy. Let's see. Yeah, so we talked about bench press. The OHP, the same thing. The OHP, either you have a friend or you rack it, you put it back up and then you lower it. See what I mean? Yeah, the same thing. A lot of eccentric overload. So those kind of make it the hardest. The big 4 makes it the hardest because you need a spotter. But everything else, you really don't need a spotter for, really. You can do it yourself. Hell, I've even used my other arm to move weight. With stacks of weight, I use my other arm to assist with the cables and a bunch of stuff. I assist. I pull it down. I push it down with my left arm and then let it ride up with the right arm. Let the right arm ride up with the weight and shit. Do a bunch of stuff like that. So yeah, you don't really need assistance on the other exercises. Maybe behind the neck pull down sometimes, but I can still just do it with my body weight. Pull it down and let it pull me up. But like I said, yeah, you don't really need a lot of assistance. Other than the big 4, you need an assistance. You probably need a partner for that. I'm not sure. You could find one. Because otherwise, you'd be racking the weight, which is really a hassle. You'll have to go back, unload the weight, put it back up, then load the weight again, and then start all over again, whatever.
a 50-pound bar, for your curls. I mean, it's going to take a while to go up. Okay. But over time, we should see that. So yes, we have to have that progressive overload, but we need to be clear. It doesn't mean by cheating the weight up. In other words, if you start trimming range of motion on, say, the lengthened position to do it, or you're swinging more, it may not be.
Yeah, it's like this. Let's say I warm up with 2 45-pound plates with my squat. I'm going ass to grass, right? Okay, and then I put on another 45-pound plate. So now I got 2 45-pound plates on each side. I go down. I could do it for reps and sets, whatever. Okay. Now I put on 3 plates, but let's say I'm not really accustomed to doing 3 plates. Well, guess what? I can't go all the way up with it. So now I found my range. 3 plates. 3 plates, which I'm comfortable with, but I can't push it up in the other direction for 10 reps. So what do? I just keep lowering it. I go with the weight down. I go down with the weight. I lower it, then I go back, re-rack the weight, push it back up, and then do it again. And I do it again for 10 repetitions straight. 10 or 12 reps, okay? Then I rest a bit, and then I repeat all over again. And I do that for quite a few sets. I probably do that for I don't know, maybe... In the first time, maybe 5 or 6 sets of those of 10, 12 repetitions, doing that. Just eccentrics now with 315. See what I mean? Yeah. You need a lot of it to cause this damage to come back bigger and stronger. That's the whole point of eccentric exercise.
Increasing more tension. Now, does it automatically mean it isn't? Well, no, it doesn't mean it isn't. It just means it might not. But we know that if your stuff is staying.
See, Blaha, this isn't bodybuilding. Blaha still does powerlifting. He drops the weight. He drops it because he's so used to being comfortable doing concentric exercises, because it's comfortable doing concentric exercises than eccentric.
Consistent, we're good.
Because remember, you're going a lot heavier with concentric. Way heavier.
Okay, the same thing if you start doing a slightly harder variation. Let's say you go into a deeper stretch, right? Or you start pausing at the bottom. Okay, that could actually be.
No, that's not going to work. None of those things are going to work if the weight is light.
Increasing tension. See what we're saying? With the same weight, with the same reps, right?
Yeah, and you're going to get the same outcome at 0 if you do that. The same weight, the same reps.
Where you are seeing an increased tension. But the same thing, anytime you gain reps, yeah, you're going to get more mechanical tension on some of the muscle fibers if your reps are going up. In other words, if you have a weight that you with the same...
Man, you're always getting mechanical tension. I don't know what these people are talking about, bro. You're always getting mechanical tension when you're moving weight around.
You were doing 10.
Look at Blaha. Look at him. He's pressing these weights. It's concentric. There's no eccentric. I mean, there's some eccentric, but there's no full eccentric rep here at the bottom. He's really not doing any eccentrics at all. It's just concentric, whatever.
Reps and you get to 11 or 12, well, yeah, that counts. That is absolutely progression. Now, what I'm going to disagree with is when people start going to tempo work. Okay? Like you start intentionally going.
Oh, he read my thing in my community section. Tempo. They talked about tempo work. When they talk about eccentric, they're talking about a training method called tempo work. He read that in my community section. Because they posted that in there. And I'm going to tell you the truth. Even I never heard of tempo work. You understand me? But I read it on there. I had no idea. I never heard of tempo. He read that because he's never said tempo work before. And I've never known about it until I read it in one of those things that I brought up with AI in Google. And it said it at the bottom. It explained these methods called tempo work.
Slower, there's no evidence that actually causes extra growth. Now, people say, but this bodybuilder did it. Yeah.
Yeah, slower does not work. Slower does not work, bro, because we're trying to hit type 2 muscle fibers. It has to be rapid firing and super heavy.
It could be the gear at that point. So I am going to say I don't think.
Oh, it's the gear at that point because why? Because they're pumping. Get it? They're pumping the muscles up, broski. When people are taking steroids, they're just pumping their muscle up, sarcoplasmic training. That's why. That's the difference. It's holding all this glycogen in there. You could do it too. You just have to eat more complex carbohydrates. But they're taking steroids, so they're just pumping it up. They're pumping it up.
There's real evidence for that, well, just because I'm slowing it down, that it's automatically creating more mechanical tension. That's not always the case.
No. It's just fatiguing you at this point.
But I'm not telling people that they always need ballistic training type either. Not saying they need that. They can have its place, and we do a lot of it for speed work and some powerlifting. But from a hypertrophy perspective, maybe not.
Remember, we're hitting type 2 muscle fibers in the eccentric form. That's what it does. It is not doing really type 1. It's the majority is type 2 in eccentric work. So it has to be rapid firing, dude. It has to be fast. Slow doesn't work there. People are making that shit up.
Right? Maybe not. Right? Maybe not. But conversely, going really slow is probably not doing you any favors either. Again, a normal tempo. And I think you'll find that most of the best bodybuilders.
Of course not. Why would slow? It's uncomfortable doing heavy eccentrics. Why would you go slow doing an astronomically heavy weight in the eccentric form? That's ridiculous. You wouldn't manage going really slow with it because it's so goddamn heavy. You're moving weight for 100%. You gotta be crazy.
Always did it that way. So again, people want to use that anecdote. Well, but all the best bodybuilders just maintain a normal tempo on most of their exercises.
The best who? Fake bodybuilders? He just corrected. He says, they're mostly on gear, on steroids. Yeah, because they're not really feeling the exercise. They're on steroids. They don't care. You understand me? They think that steroids have magic powers. They build muscles. Steroids, they don't build muscles. Even if you're taking steroids, you still have to damage it in the natural world and allow it to go through a repair and a remodeling. If you do not damage those muscles, they are not going to grow. And then when you go off your steroids, that sarcoplasmic training is going to all go away. That's why it goes away, because you never built any muscle. If you built muscle, it would have stayed. Get it? Like I said, if steroids could build a muscle on their own, like literally build a muscle, then guess what? Everybody would take a steroid. They would take it once, build a muscle, and never take it again. So why are they cruising and blasting? They're cruising and blasting so they can maintain the sarcoplasm. Get it? This phony glycogen in the muscle that gives them the appearance that they have muscles when in fact they don't have any muscle. That's why, what's his face, that guy that died, that bodybuilder guy, just a bit ago, the one that was always in dispute with Blaha, he died. I forget his name now. He couldn't stand. He had to be on steroids all the time. He wanted to look big. He had bigorexia or some shit. He wanted to look big walking around. In other words, he wanted to look fake. He wanted to look pretend walking around, like pretend muscles. Let me show and tell with pretend muscles. Bro, that's crazy, bro. And then he died because it killed him, because it's unhealthy to carry all that glycogen in your muscle.
Look at all your Mr. Olympia winners. 90% of them, that's how they trained. Your guys in the top 5.
Why do you think science tells you that eccentric exercise has so many benefits? If according to these steroid people, bodybuilding is so unhealthy, well, how could bodybuilding be so unhealthy? See what I mean? Yeah, it's unhealthy if you're taking steroids and pumping your muscles with glycogen. Of course it's unhealthy. But eccentric exercise has so many health benefits. How does it have health benefits? Well, I'll explain to you. It can convert old muscle into new muscle. It's called muscle regeneration. That's what it does when you damage it. It regenerates new muscle. You can expand the satellite cell pool. It will remove senescent cells. You can mitigate myogenic decline. Hell, you could do a lot with eccentric exercise, man. It can reverse DNA damage. It can fucking reverse mitochondrial damage. It does a lot of shit. It makes you fucking stronger. It makes you bigger. It makes you stronger. It makes you all kinds of stuff. Gee Christ. It does a lot. So when people ask you about exercise, does it have health benefits? No, exercise does not have health benefits. Steroids do not have health benefits, and nor does lifting concentrically does not have health benefits. But eccentric exercise actually has some health benefits. See what I mean? Yes, it does, because if it removes senescent cells and it mitigates myogenic decline, well, that would make you healthier, wouldn't it? And if you can regenerate old muscle into new muscle, well, that would make you healthier, wouldn't it? And if it can remove DNA damage, clean up all this DNA damage, well, that would make you healthier. And if it can, I don't know, expand the satellite cell pool, bunch of stuff, whatever. It has all these health benefits. See what I mean? So does real bodybuilding have health benefits? Yeah, absolutely, if you're doing it real. But if you're doing it fake, it will not have health benefits. Listen, getting the nervous system to get stronger doesn't have health benefits. See what I mean? So concentric exercise, pumping glycogen in your muscle is bad for you because you're eating carbohydrates. That's glycolysis. Yeah, glycogen. That's shit, bro. There's also, there's a lot of oxidative stress there. There's oxidation, hypoxia, and you're just doing the nervous system. How can getting the nervous system strong, how can that make you healthy? It doesn't.
Even when gear was lower. So they didn't focus on that. It's never even been anecdotally a thing. Okay? Right? It's never anecdotally been a thing. And there's no evidence of it in the lab. So I'm not saying that does it. Like, we don't need to say,
Oh, and one more thing. Eccentric exercise can extend your lifespan. How does it do that? Yeah, well, think about it. It regenerates you. If it can regenerate you, it can extend your lifespan. Like it says in PubMed, satellite cell, use it or lose it. It tells you right there. It tells you that it can extend your lifespan. But you have to read between the lines.
we need to make a 20-pound dumbbell heavy. Well, no, not necessarily. Now, is it getting heavier because you're getting, say, a deeper stretch?
Yeah.
Or getting stricter? Well, okay, in that case, yeah, there may be definitely something to that. In other words, that can increase tension with the same weight or with a light weight, right? Because it's putting more direct tension on the muscle and then potentially more tension on the muscle fibers. So that strategy can be perfectly viable, right? And
that's putting more tension on the muscle fibers. Only Eccentric does that. If it's overloaded, bro, it puts tension on there, yeah.
Case, maybe the 20-pound dumbbell does feel like a 40, because you're doing it that way. But not.
Yeah, it feels like a 40. It feels to you like a 40, but not to the muscle fiber. It feels like 10 pounds.
Not because you slowed it down, but because you were literally going into positions and cheating less, and therefore, the muscles you're trying to work are simply working harder, right?
Listen, man, why not just overload the Eccentric form with more weight and stop pretending? Get it? Everybody wants to pretend. What's the matter with these fucking people? Oh, I need to pretend, and I will make it pretend that it feels heavy by lowering it really slow. Listen, asshole, just fucking overload it with more weight. You don't have to pretend, you fool, you clown, and go like this. I'm going to lower it and make it, I'm going to pretend that it's heavy. I'm going to pretend it's heavy. Pretending heavy is not going to get you results. Duh, clown. It's going to fucking do nothing. What's going to get you results is fucking going progressively overload heavy on the Eccentric. Okay, dude? You don't have to pretend, all right? Stop being clowns out there, okay? Stop being a clown, okay? And fucking overload that motherfucker. Get it, dude? Stop being a clown and pretending. I got to go lower it. I got to lower it slow. I got to do slow eccentrics and all this bullshit. Stop playing with the weight. Stop pretending. Just fucking go all out, okay? Christ.
With the same amount of weight. And that can be a smart move. That can be a smart move in many cases, but it's not necessary. It's a choice. A lot of people use looser form, and as long as the loose form stays consistent and they progress, you're still increasing.
Holy shit, looser form again. You don't clown. You don't have to pretend clown. You don't have to do looser form. You don't have to do this or do that or pretend. Just overload the eccentric like it's meant to be. Okay? Stop playing with the weight, dude. Get it?
Tension. And you've seen that all through the bodybuilding world historically.
No,
that comes down.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it all through the fake bodybuilding world and fitness world. I've watched everybody lift, okay? I've watched everybody. I've watched the Newbanks, the Alex Newbanks, the Alpha Destinies, and all these fucking people. The fucking Michael Hearn. I've watched all their techniques, and there isn't one person online, not one influencer, not one that does eccentric overload training. There's not even one, not even you, Blaha. There's nobody that does it. Nobody.
Honestly, in my opinion, to
That's why you all suck. Suck.
a personal preference of where a lifter feels a muscle the most, you know. But at the end of the day, any way you break it down, there should be progressive overload present, whether it is an increase in weight, whether it's an increase in reps.
Oh man, an increase in weight, an increase in reps. That's not progressively overloading by doing an increase in reps. An overload means that you're overloading the eccentric with a lot of weight on the downforce, going with gravity. What the hell is he talking about? Again, clown. It's not about reps. It's about progressively overloading the eccentric. Stop deviating away from that. Pretending.
Or you're just increasing tension by actually doing a harder variation of the lift, right?
No, it's not about cheating and doing variations and going slow and being steady and doing all these weird things. No, just do it. Just do it. Overload the eccentrics, broski. You got it? You don't have to pretend and then get zero results. You can do it real, broski. You can overload the eccentric and build some muscles, bro. Muscles build in the eccentric. They don't build in the concentric form. Get it?
To where you are simply putting the muscles at an angle to where they just get hit harder with the same weight. All right.
Yeah, an angle. He getting hit with the same weight. That's not gonna work. You're gonna get the same result. A zero. Like, look at this little 10-pound weight going down here on his arms. That's why his arms will never progress, because he's stubborn. I've never seen him pull heavy in the eccentric. See, here's the thing. His arms would grow if he could pull heavy weight. If he could pull heavy weight for a partial rep in the eccentric where he couldn't do a full concentric. Now that would show, then you would know that was a heavy enough weight where he couldn't pull it all the way up. That is a heavy load going down eccentrically. That would make his arms grow. But Blaha, he likes to play with the weights, these 10-pound weights, and roll them up and down. That's why he'll never progress. Those arms will never grow. They'll never grow. He's just be a little skinny little old man, 85-year-old man here.
Guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today.
Oops, wait. A small, skinny, weak, little old 85-year-old man. I don't care how much he can lift off the ground. He's small and skinny and weak. I don't give a shit, bro. Yeah, I know you're gonna say, but he can lift a heavy weight concentrically. Nah, his nervous system allows him to lift concentrically heavy. But listen to the word, his nervous system. It's not his body, really. It's not based on muscular strength. It's based on the nervous system. That's why bigger people are not afraid of small people, because bigger is always stronger than small. Small is weak, bro. Get it?
It's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.
Yeah, it's been informative not to do anything that Blaha says, bro. Just do the opposite of all these fitness gurus and everything and what Blaha says. See you in the next one. Ciao, friends.